Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for a transfer news update on your weekend. Saturday show for you guys as well. Usually we don't stream much on the weekends unless it's a game, but no Chelsea, no football, but Chelsea busy off the pitch again. The last stream we done was only yesterday, and we were talking in regards to how many more players will Chelsea sign. Would Malo Gusto happen, yes or no? We had Ben Jacobs on as well, giving us a bit of an update on it. Malo Gusto has now been confirmed as a Chelsea player. Another addition I added in the summer, though. So this is a player that Chelsea are looking to add in the summer, not in the January market, which is still good. And we're going to talk about why that is good. Why that is a good thing as well. We're also going to talk about the madness in and around Moises Caicedo. The Caicedo news that we saw as well. We're going to jump into that and quickly highlight some of that as well. Give our thoughts on that. A little bit on Enzo Fernandez as well. And then we're going to open up the lines today and give you guys the opportunity to get involved and have your say. But we are here. It is a Saturday. I'm not sure whereabouts you are across the world. So please let me know in the chat. Smash the like button. Subscribe to both channels. Let's get these likes up, guys. Also, please share on your socials. Below where the like button is, there's a little share link. Share it. Let people know that we are live. Let's get some new viewers in here, in with the community of Chelsea Fan TV and GNA TV. And before we move forward, let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you guys are well wherever it is you are around the world. Chelsea, again, on some sort of madness. We done a show yesterday talking about, will we get Malo Gusto? Are we going to get a midfielder? And then all of a sudden, in the space of one evening, shall we say, after we'd finished the show, we have now signed Malo Gusto, who will be joining us in the summer. May I add to that? And there's been some madness in and around Moises Caicedo, who's trying to force himself out the door from Brighton, kind of handed in his own transfer request as well. We're going to delve into Caicedo news as well and talk about that. And then we're obviously going to bring Enzo Fernandez into the whole of this as well. The countdown to deadline day is around the corner. Tuesday the 31st is deadline day. Chelsea have today, tomorrow, and Monday and Tuesday to make something happen. I've got a feeling it could heat up. It could specifically heat up in the periods of maybe Monday to Tuesday onwards. We've done works on Saturday. We signed Mudryk on the Saturday, if you remember as well, how quick we got that done as well. So, I'm expecting us to be quite active still in the market. Will Chelsea get that midfielder is the question now. That's the big question. Well, we're going to talk about Enzo and Caicedo a bit more later in the show. Over 120 people here already. Big up to every single one of you guys that are here on this Saturday afternoon as well. Let's say hello to the chat quickly, see what everyone's saying. Big up to KSA, man. Hope you're well, bro. Big up to Chelsea OG. Jamie, nice to see you as well. I hope you're good. Trevor's in the house as well. It's time for Egbali to pull the trigger for Enzo is what he's saying there. Big up to Hashim as well. Will WLL as well. Nice to see you. Who else we got here? Josh, nice to see you. Steve's in the house as well. Santiago, big up to you, my guy. Nice to see you. Hakim's in the house. Aaron's in the house. Steve's in the house. Josh is in the house. Steven's in the house as well. Big up to you, man. Declared's in the house as well. Declared is in the building. I'd be interested to see what Declared's got to say as well. We are going to open up the lines. This will be more of a show where I kind of fly through things a bit quicker, I guess, and then we'll open up the lines and get a panel in so that they can have their say and get involved as well. Big up to you, Emma. Nice to see you. Don, as always. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, mate. It's going to be interesting. British Patriots in the house as well. Aaron says Malo Gusto is in London. He is indeed. Matty says, okay, we got Gusto, but in the summer, the DM situation, I can't see us getting anymore. So, who knows, Matty? Who knows what Chelsea are going to do in these next couple of days? You just can't, you just can't get it. Do you know what I mean? You just can't. You can't put your finger on it. Big up to Mohammed as well. Very happy about adding Gusto, is what he says here. Janet, nice to see you as well. Hope you're well. Lee Taylor's in the house as well. Big up, bro. Nice to see you. CFC Jack's in the house. People are slowly but surely coming in. Nearly 150 people here already. 5 minutes in, as always. Nice to see every single one of you's in here. But let's get into things because there is quite a lot to get through, and I want to open up the lines as well. But before we get into Gusto, Caicedo, I saw some of this. I thought it was quite funny, actually. Where is it? Vince's news. Vince, where is he? There he is. This guy's talking about a potential move from Tottenham for Romelu Lukaku if Antonio Conte stays at Tottenham as their manager next summer. That is beautiful. I hope that he stays at Tottenham and I hope that they take him. We've got to get rid of this guy somehow. I've seen people commenting about, what if we give Lukaku just one more chance? Now we're improving the forward line and we've got creators and blah, blah, blah. Nah, mate. Have you seen the guy in Milan? He can't get himself in the team. He can't keep himself fit. His touch is an absolute stinker, especially in a slower league, let alone coming to the Premier League. This guy, for me, he's done, man. He's done. He is done, Romelu Lukaku. Yeah, we don't need Romelu Lukaku in our lives, guys. So, hell no. Hell no. I don't want to see him back at the team. We don't want to see him back in the team. Big up to Danny as well. Nice to see you, bro. Nice. I hope you're well. Bailey King TV, nice to see you. Nice to see you as well. Who else we got? Andrew, nice to see you. Robert as well. Yeah, see you later, Romelu Lukaku. If you want to leave, mate, get out. Literally, get out. Get out. What was that? What's going on here, mate? What's going on here? Anyway, I don't know what happened there. My tabs have gone a bit funny. But yeah. No, we don't. We don't need him, mate. We've got Nkunku. Right? Everyone goes, well, we still need number 9. Yeah, maybe to a degree. But let's get the creators in first. Let's sort the deep line out. Let's try and get like an Enzo in. Please, Lord. Bring the Enzo. We've got Mudryk. We've got Madueke. We're adding to this. We're adding to the strength of this squad as well. And when you think about what we've done so far, let's go through some of the players we've signed. And if I've missed any, you can let me know in the chat. Badashile, Madueke, Mudryk, Malo Gusto, Santos, that Fofana. What's that? 6 players? We've signed 6 players in the January window. Like, can you remember any football club in the January market spending like Chelsea have or how Todd Bowley has? This is the question. I don't think we have. And we might not be finished there. We generally might not be finished there. This is mad. It's a madness. Let's get into Malo Gusto because the Malo Gusto news is interesting. It was announced yesterday via actually, it was via Ormstein and it was via Fabrice Hawkins, who actually called it first. And it goes on to say that Chelsea have reached an agreement in principle, for Lyon to sign right back Malo Gusto for 30 million euros plus add-ons. 90-year-old French under 21 will remain with Lyon until the end of the season before joining Chelsea in the summer. So he ain't going to join us now. I had a feeling that Lyon were going to kind of push for this anyway. Yes, we could use him going into this next part of the season. But I still think it's very good business from Chelsea. When you think about cutting out the competition in the summer, which is what we've done here. When you think about, when you think about getting one of the top prospects in French football and very highly rated in the French league as well at the young age that he is, I think we've done amazing. And the fact that he wants Chelsea as well and has made it very clear that he's wanted to come to this football club is big. And right back now for me with him and Reece James is done for years to come. The profile of player that we've specifically got is a player that's still got growth, but is talented. And he walks into this Chelsea first squad anyway. He's a great player addition to have on the bench, even if Reece James is playing games. And even if Reece James is injured. Because if we lose Reece James, and we've seen it happen before, if we lose Reece James, and then we end up having to play Aspilicueta. We're all going to just sit here moaning that we ain't got anyone who can play off the right, and that we haven't got the depth, and Aspilicueta's declining, and then we're playing Chalobah out there because we ain't got anyone else. Like, we've suffered. It's one of them areas that we have definitely suffered along with the midfield for at least a couple of seasons now, in my opinion. And it's a great signing, guys. It's one that we should be happy for. Smash the like buttons, though. Smash the like button if you're happy with the signing of Malo Gusto. Hit the thumb. Let's see how many likes we can get from hitting that thumb right now, guys. There's nearly 200 people here as well. 70 people on GNA TV. We've got over 124 people on Chelsea Fan TV as well. Come on, guys. We ain't got enough likes as it is anyway. So please, everyone, smash the thumbs now. Let's get them thumbs up as quickly as we can. Let's try and get to 50 likes as quickly as we can on both channels, please. Come on, we can easily do that as well. Yeah, so we got the news in around him signing for Chelsea last night, and then it was abbreviated again by him. What's his name? Fabrizio Romano himself, who then brought out this, which shows Malo Gusto. Here we go. Medical tests have been scheduled tomorrow, this is obviously yesterday's tweet. In order to seal the deal, he's joining in June 2023 with Nkunku. OL received 30 million plus add-ons. So basically, 26 million plus 10 million, whatever add-ons. We don't know how much the add-ons are, but it should equivalent to around 35 million euros, I reckon. So, 35 million sterling, maybe. You'd think there's about 10 million add-ons involved in that. But again, we don't know what the add-ons are tied to. Is it, again, targets? You have to reach some targets to receive that. And to get a guy that young for 26 million anyway, and then offer him what we believe is a 6-year contract, 6 year with a 1 year, potentially, is amazing. Absolutely amazing move from Chelsea and the board again. Can't knock him for it. On top of that, we got the news today that he is in London, and about 20 minutes ago, from Fabrice Hawkins, who's the guy that broke the news in around Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto has arrived in London. He will pass his medical examination before committing to Chelsea. The defender should not play against Ajaccio, whoever that is, tomorrow in the league. So basically, he's going to miss a game just to get himself signed across to Chelsea Football Club. So great move, great deal. He was the right back that I wanted, the backup right back that I wanted. When I talk about levels, he's not at the Reece James level yet, but in terms of having the overall package and the talent and keeping the levels high, so if he comes on the pitch, I think we will still be solid in that position. He is the perfect addition to Chelsea, and he's only going to get better. He's playing with better players, a better team. His game will grow itself. The more games and times, the minutes that he'll get, and he will get minutes. Malo Gusto. People say, "Oh, well, how's he going to get minutes? He's not going to work. We've got Reece James." How many fucking seasons have we seen Reece James miss a certain amount of games, and then we've suffered? Obviously, like, the good thing here now is Graham Potter can rotate, right? I think Malo Gusto will get more minutes than people think. Reece James can stay fit, but he's played 2 or 3 games in a row, and you throw Malo Gusto in for 1 or 2 games. Like, there will be a rotation, is what I'm saying, and I think that's important. The fact that we're strengthening in positions, working on the depth as well, is great. Absolutely great news for us, and we should be happy as Chelsea fans. But he is an addition, not now, for the summer. And when you look at what moves we've already done for the summer, let's just bear this in mind. These are 2 deals we've made for summer before we've even got to summer. Nkunku, Malo Gusto, tick, tick. 2 additions secured for the summer. 2 top quality players coming in to strengthen this squad. And finally, we're starting to see the squad hopefully going in the right direction. It's going to be down to Graham Potter. Next season, the pressure's on him. He's going to still be here. The board and the manager and the owners have backed him. He's going to have to get the best out of this squad. He's going to have to keep players happy. He's going to have to give them minutes. He's going to have to work a way of getting the best out of them. I always say the best formation for Chelsea going into next window will be 4-2-3-1. It will definitely be a 4-2-3-1, though. It has to be. Has to be a 4-2-3-1, in my opinion. But it's good. It's a good move, and that's without obviously dealing with the midfield. And we know the midfield is an area that we need to address. We're about to go into talking about Moises Caicedo next in this. And like I said, it's only Moises Caicedo, Enzo, and we're opening the line. So we're going to be it's going to be more of a panel-related show today. This is what people were saying in the chat quickly. Jim, you wanted Kunde, didn't get him. Now you wanted Enzo. You know it's Kurt. Listen, do you know what? I was in a space with Con a couple of days back, and he said that to me. He said, why is it every player you want, specifically want, like you actually tweet about more than others, never comes to Chelsea? And I was like, I'm just a punished person, unfortunately. I know what we need. I know. In my deep down, I know what Chelsea need. And when I see a quality player, I'm just like, I want him. And then, yeah, look, Enzo's not over yet, mate. Enzo's not over yet, but we will see. Big up to Lee Taylor. We've been paying over the odds for years. This is proper. Central midfield is utmost. So listen, we've dealt with the right back area. We could argue that we maybe need one more up front, depending on who goes and whatever. It depends. Now, and we've sorted out the central back area because Thiago Silva's staying at Chelsea for another year. Yeah, you've got Badishile in there. You've got Chalobah. You've got Wesley Fofana. You've got Koulibaly. You've got Colwill on loan. All right, that is strong. That is a strong, defense, in my opinion. You've added Malo Gusto, Reece James. You've got Ben Chilwell and Cucurella, who I think is perfect. Yeah, Lewis Hall as well. Let's not forget Lewis Hall. Free. Now, the only area we need to be addressing is that midfield. Are we going to address it in this window? That's the real big question here. Will Chelsea make moves in this window? Now, there's over 250 people here, nearly 300 people here, actually. Big up to every single one of you guys that are here at the moment. Can we please make sure we're hitting the thumbs, though? Let's get these thumbs up. I know we haven't got enough on GNA TV at the moment. Please, guys, let's get this up to 50 likes. If you haven't hit the thumbs, you're watching. There's over 90 of you here. How we've only got 28 likes, guys. Come on. Please smash the thumbs if you haven't done already. Chelsea Fan TV, there's nearly 200 of you guys here. Only 62 likes. We should easily be getting that over 100 as well. So please hit that. Subscribe to both as well. We've got a lot of interesting shows to be having in the next couple of days, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, hopefully, anyway. Now, we're going to talk about Moises Caicedo because he absolutely dropped a bomb. An absolute bomb yesterday. Big up to Galib as well. Nice to see you, bro. Hope you're good. Absolute bomb yesterday. No, we're not actually. We're not going to Moises Caicedo. We're going to save that. We're going to go back to Malo Gusto because what we haven't done yet is talk about the profile. And when we sign players, I always like to find a little quick thread about the player, for us to learn a bit more, understand a bit more, And this is supposedly quite a good thread. So let's go through that. Yeah, we should be getting to 100 likes, man. Let's get us 100 likes. What type of player is Malo Gusto? Right back, right wing back, right centre back. He's versatile, is what we've had the options on here. Then we go on to say here, Chelsea have agreed a deal. We know all this. Now, it goes on to style of players. This Gusto is a highly complete right back who can play multiple roles. A right back can play roles a right back can play. He has started as a wide outlet right back in a back four, a right wing back in a back three, and an inverted right back in a back four with a wide winger and a right centre back in the back three. So basically, cut a long story short, because of the attributes that he has, speed, athleticism, being able to create, being able to cover the areas quickly, even if he does go forward, he's basically a versatile player, which is a good thing for Chelsea. Even if we do want to switch the 4 at the back into a 3, we know we can slip in. And he's done all of those under Peter Bosz and Laurent Blanc, is what we're told. So they played the back 3 with Gusto playing as a right centre back. Now, I know we've got Trevor Chalobah there and others, but it gives you a bit of an idea of how he can be utilised at Chelsea and why Chelsea may have gone for him. I know we're talking about back fours, and back fours is what we want going forward. I still think that we're going to alternate slightly dependent on who we're playing, right? So it goes on to say, Gusto's starting, and I can't play this because I'll end up getting copyrighted, but Gusto's starting position is usually at the defence line as an outlet. He then gradually moves from there to take on wide positions as his team progress up the pitch. He doesn't immediately stay high. So he kind of goes with the flow, is what I would say. As soon as we break down play and we win the ball and we start to move the ball up quick, he sort of follows, he follows the movement of how quick we're transitioning, basically, which is a good thing. So, which means in many ways, he doesn't get caught too many times going forward because he times his movements on the side well, but he hogs the wing, which is a good thing. I could probably watch this because there's no thingy there. But anyway, he is also very comfortable positioning himself in the half spaces too, as he likes to underlap. But instead, he could just be an option there to combine with his teammates or provide half space crosses. Good is what I'd say to that. Gusto, being a modern right back, is very good at overlapping, underlapping, but for a few right backs actually can do, which he very well can. He always tries to make himself an option for his wingers to get that into dangerous areas for crosses and comebacks. Now, I've watched some comps of Malo Gusto, and one of the things that I like about him is that when we have got the ball, he can cross. You know, we've got Reece James that can cross. Well, we have another right back, guys, that can now cross, which means we will start seeing balls fed into our attackers more, and we should be creating more through him. So now when we lose Reece James and we've got nothing at right back, now we have Malo Gusto who can now equally create. So we still have a creativity spark from the right because Malo Gusto can do it. Aspilicueta can't do it. Trevor Chalobah can't do it. Doesn't matter who we play out there, they can't do it. So that's good. I understand it with Tete. Gusto has a good dribble. Gusto has a good understanding with Tete, giving him space. Tete is a one-on-one dribbler, so Tete receives the ball wide on the flanks to isolate his defenders one-on-one, and then Gusto gives him that space to receive. So basically, he works well with a dribbler in front of him. And if we're going to play someone like Madueke in front of him, who is a dribbler, Madueke is going to love Gusto. He's going to love Gusto because Gusto will drag players away and he'll run into the pockets of spaces, which will allow dribblers like Madueke, Mudryk to be able to run into them positions, even if it's Sterling, drive, basically, you know. With his overlapping and underlapping runs, makes it harder for defenders to track and give the wingers unpredictability, and can work with Madueke, another left-footed winger who we possess. So basically, what I just said there, he picks these moments to overlap. His timing is very good, and that's great news. He's two-footed. He can play at both feet, common with our new signings. In fact, his back passes are usually down with his left foot, so he's comfortable with both feet. You know, if he's forced to go on his left, he can comfortably tackle and use his left. He has this particular skill of rolling over the ball, faking to pass with his right and making a forward pass with his left. I like that. I like that. The unpredictability, guys, which is cool, right? That's what we want. We want players that are unpredictable. What else we got? Gusto is a proactive defender and likes to get tight to his man. It can work against him for nicky wingers who can easily turn him, but also when done right, it gives a little space for players to receive the ball. So he's aggressive as well, but he has the speed to recover. He's also good at counter pressing as well. Crossing is his strength. I already mentioned that to him. If you've not seen it, go and watch the comps as well. I'm just going to fly through this quickly. He can grow at creating space for himself to crosses. He does it already by using, So again, different types of creativity. Gusto is very physical, such a strong player to come against, and usually uses shoulder barges and drags, as mentioned, to win duels with opponents. So he's not rash. You know, he's quite clever at judging his challenges, which is a very good thing to know. He wins 4.4 per game with the 55% success rate in Liga 1 this season as well. Tackling, Gusto is a tough tackler, as we've seen him in duels. He is tenacious as he lets his man go easily. Sometimes he does a bit too much, as it seems to give them a head start. Then you would think he's already beaten before he eventually reaches his man. Yeah, because he goes so tight because he relies on his own speed. So even if he's playing against a nippy player like, I don't know, like it looks like an Mbappe or a Neymar, even if they get that extra 1 or 2 yards in him, he kind of trusts his speed to kind of get back into place, and that's great. He's a very solid one-on-one defender. He uses the same technique explained above to defend that. He usually stops the final action of his opponent before tackles are in. Good. So he's a good interceptor as well. And it goes on. He's good at recovery runs. You know, his interceptions are decent. Ball retention. He's technically sound. Good with the ball at his feet. Again, suits Chelsea in terms of how we like to play moving forward. Technical ability. He has it. He sounds like an overall great player, and he's so young. You know, he's so young. His link-up play with his teammates out wide in half-pass is good in touch and like to play passes and immediately make himself available. So 1-2s with his side of the pitch is very good. His ball carrying is very good, as you can see in the clip here as well. The weaknesses. Now, that's what I was looking for. What is his weaknesses? What is his weaknesses? Mark too tight / drugged out of position. Whilst Gusto is proactive defender, it can work against him at times, can cause opponents, can easily overload his flank and put him out of position. So basically, put 2 or 1 on him, he's in a bit of trouble. But if you do it to any defender, you have the same issue. You have the same issue. That doesn't surprise me in many ways. Too square. He's too square at times. Let's have a quick look. Believing wingers more space to go outside him. So he kind of backs off and allows them to cross, which cannot. That's not a great thing. Angling his body inside too much. He's meant to be at an angle to turn. So basically, sometimes his body position when dribblers are running at him, he gives them too much space. Kind of allows them to run at him, and he kind of wants to then judge his tackles. But sometimes it gives them too much space because then they can make the cross, like we just saw in that video there. So something that he will need to work on. In-seam run passing. Another that he can improve on is his passing into the half bases for in-seam runs. He tends to misjudge the weight of those passes and leaves it shortly, mostly for his attackers. It helps to break the opposition's last line. Interesting. You have to watch that. So, that's it really. There's the thread. So what I would say is if you guys want to check it out, go and check out Sean. Big up to him on his thread on Malo Gusto. Some good stuff there. So nice to get into as well. We've got nearly over 300 people here as well. Nice to see everyone here. We're going to talk about Caicedo now. I saw him last season in Europa League a few times. He even played as a centre midfielder against West Ham. He's technical enough to play there. Maybe he's not physical for Prem, plus his team defence. Well, he seems like he uses his athleticism. Like he's an athlete, Galib. Like he seems to be able to get up and back and forwards quite quickly. Times his runs quite well when going forward. And equally, he's got room to improve. And he's coming into a top team like Chelsea where he can now improve. That's the thing. He's still very young. We have to bear that in mind. Moises Caicedo. What has he done? What has he done? What has Moises Caicedo done? Well, I'll tell you what he's done. He sent Twitter mad. That's what he's done. Because last night, while Arsenal were playing Man City, at the end of the game, he decides to bring out this comment. And this comment goes to say that I'm grateful to Mr. Bloom and Brighton for giving me the chance to come to the Premier League. And I feel I have always done my best for them. I always play football with a smile and with heart. I am the youngest of 10 siblings from a poor upbringing in the Santo Domingo in Ecuador. My dream always is to be the most decorated player in the history of Ecuador. I am proud to be able to bring in a record transfer fee for the Brighton, which allow them to reinvest it and help the club continue to be successful. The fans have taken me into their hearts and they will always be in my heart. So I hope that they can understand why I want to take up this massive responsibility. Now, when you read that kind of, in the way that he's worded it, he's made it sound like he's going. Like someone's paying the money and he's going. Who is it? Arsenal? Chelsea? Like he made it very expect something to come out soon. But then on the flip side of things, we're then hearing that Brighton aren't selling him still. Aren't willing to sell him. But he's just brought out this comment. The guy basically, in a way, is just putting his own transfer request. He's basically saying, I don't want to be here. Let me go. Now, Arsenal bidded yesterday 60 million. We already know this. We spoke on it yesterday's show. And then it got rejected. Then this statement come out. Now, I don't want to put it past Chelsea because we know what Chelsea are like. But I've just got a feeling that Arsenal are going to go for him. And when we heard that Thomas Partey could potentially have an injury, I think he's got to have a scan, is what Arteta said as well. I've got a feeling in me that this is more of an Arsenal thing than it is Chelsea at the moment. However, it could have been the case, and we've seen it before, that while Arsenal and Man City are playing, Chelsea have persuaded the player that they're going to do business and brought him on side, made him do this, and they're going to drop a big bid to Brighton. But from what we're told, Brighton don't want to sell him. Brighton don't want him to leave. So I'm a bit lost. They've now overvalued him, and we're going to get into the tweets in a second, all right, in terms of how much they will let him go for. But he's kind of saying, I'm going. So them saying he's not going, like from what we've seen here from Ornstein, this comment here from Ornstein, right? Moises Caicedo will not attend Brighton training at 11 a.m, nor play Liverpool tomorrow. Brighton have told the 21-year-old Ecuador midfielder to stay away until Feb 1st when transfer window closes. Plus, expect him to be a part of the squad for the second half of the season. What? Like, irrelevant if it's Chelsea now, even Arsenal, right? If it's either of us two. We know Moises Caicedo's got new agents. Maybe they've misinterpreted the situation, not understood Brighton's position, misguided Moises Caicedo to the point where he's come out with his statement, which is what he's done. But he's done it and he's committed to it. And that is either a transfer request, him handing in a transfer request and saying, come and get me, or his agent, the player, have spoken to a club specifically who haven't probably put in a bid down to Brighton yet and said, we are coming to get you. We are increasing our bid, a bid that possibly ain't going to be accepted. When I saw this news yesterday from Caicedo, I was just waiting for an Ornstein dagger. I was waiting for a Fabrizio Romano, here we go. And when I was putting two and two together, I just thought it was Arsenal, in my opinion. I just thought it was Arsenal, just because on the back of it being rejected. And then when it got rejected, we were told that they were going to go back in with another bid. Why I wouldn't maybe think it could be Arsenal is because they didn't get Mudryk. They didn't spend that money for Mudryk, but now they're going to spend this money for Caicedo. But then you think back to what happened yesterday with Partey, and then obviously Lukaku coming off the pitch, walking off, storming off as well. I don't know. Moises Caicedo follows Chelsea, but also he follows the others. He follows a lot of the Chelsea players. There's an image of Moises Caicedo in a Chelsea shirt. And in a quite recent Chelsea shirt. In that one, actually. I think it is the blue one. Which was not even long ago. So, I am up in the air with this. I don't know where he's going to go. All I know is he wants to go. He wants to leave. Now, is there one last big bombshell to come out of Caicedo? Out of this window for Chelsea and Caicedo? Potentially. But there's more to this, guys. And it is crazy. Big up to Ashraf. It is crazy hours. Over 450 people here at the moment. Big up to every single one of you guys that are tuned in as well. We're going to open up the line soon. I want your thoughts and opinions on this Caicedo news as well. And it's going to have, and then we're going to move on because we've got a couple little other things to go on from the Ornstein thing into the next bit, which is obviously Fabrizio Romano, and he's now sort of confirmed the same sort of thing. He's saying Moises Caicedo didn't turn up for training today. He wants to leave immediately. So Fabrizio Romano has made it very clear. The player wants to leave. I think we can all understand that. Caicedo could also miss tomorrow's game. He is, because David Ornstein has confirmed that he's got to stay away from Brighton till the end of the window. Understand Arsenal expected to improve their bid after 60 million revealed yesterday. So again, he's not mentioning Chelsea. He's not said anything about Chelsea improving their bid. He's just said expecting Arsenal to have that. So you would think that Fabrizio Romano spoken to someone to have this opinion. I don't know, guys. You know, equally, I'll say this to you, and I know, and we're going to get to Enzo Fernandez in a second, but I would prefer Enzo Fernandez anyway. And part of the reason why I would is that Simon Phillips brought out this comment about Caicedo. And it's from Miguel Delaney, right? And his comment, obviously he's a chief football underwriter for the Independent. The comment basically said that Arsenal and Chelsea would need to go to 90 million to sign Moises Caicedo from Brighton, with the player's rebellious actions leaving the club stance unchanged. So their stance is, you're not going anywhere. You can sulk. We'll punish you by you not playing. we'll wait till... It's a bit like the Enzo Fernandez thing. Yeah, Enzo just didn't want to play for him. He pulled himself aside. We've been told he was going to go Argentina. It's the same thing. That's what's happening now with Caicedo. Except Caicedo's kind of put in a transfer request. Caicedo actually came out and put a statement. Enzo didn't. But Enzo's actions were clear. You could see it. Caicedo's actually put action in and put words into it as well. So I don't get how Brighton think they're going to keep him if an Arsenal or even a Chelsea come in with this bid that's anywhere near 75 million plus, in my opinion. I still think it's going to be Arsenal. I don't want it to be Chelsea. And you might be like, what are you talking about, Jim? Why do you not? What are you talking about? Why would you not want Caicedo? If this is true and we've got to spend 90 million to get Moises Caicedo, pay another 15 million and get Enzo Fernandez. It is becoming a bit of a joke. Moises Caicedo was being linked at 75 million originally. I don't care if Arsenal go and do it. Honestly, let them think that they've hijacked us. They haven't hijacked us. Because actually, what we want is Enzo Fernandez. I'd probably go to speak that most Chelsea fans in here want Enzo Fernandez at this football club. Why would you spend 90 million on Caicedo? And that's probably without add-ons, by the way. Yeah. When you can go and get Enzo Fernandez for 105 mil. And I don't get the logic. And I'm kind of praying that we don't go and do that. If that is true, if that is an actual true amount, I hope we don't go and do that. When they said for 75 mil, I thought, right, Chelsea might do a 65 plus 10 add-ons. And then in equal, when you think about add-ons, it only works if the player achieves with the club, the player hits his targets. So in theory, you're only paying 65 and you spread that over 6-7 years. Yeah, all right. Still a lot of money for him, equally, in my opinion. But Premier League proven, he's having a good season at Brighton. They value him. He's having, who are we to talk when we're lacking the midfield that we need anyway? I want Enzo, man. I can't keep stressing. And there's over 500 of you here at the moment. I want Enzo. For that kind of money, I don't want Caicedo. I want them to go and spend Arsenal. I'm talking about Arsenal themselves. I want Arsenal to go and spend 90 million on Caicedo. Because then it absolutely eliminates the fact of us doing it. And then hopefully, on that basis, we will get an act from Todd Bowley to bring in this guy. And this is the guy that we need at this football club. And we have to act now. This is the man. There is not many profiles in football like Enzo Fernandez. And I don't care. I don't care if it costs 105 million. We have the chance to split this over 7 years and give them a bigger lump. We can do that. Chelsea, spend 60, 70 million on a big lump on him, then put 60 and 70 million down for Caicedo. Do it. He's a profile that we need. And I've explained it many times. 2-3 days left. He made it very clear himself that he wants to play for Chelsea. Yeah, he's playing for Benfica at the moment. But don't think twice that if Chelsea do go and lay the money that Benfica want, that he's packing his bags and coming, because he will. And we need him. We need Enzo Fernandez. And if we leave it to summer, my biggest worry is people like Man City, people like PSG, with Messi and whatever, may look at an opportunity of competing with us for this player. And if we don't have Champions League, and I'm not saying it's the biggest factor with us, don't get me wrong, because I still think we can track players. And these other clubs do. It's just a winning point for them. We have to go and get Enzo Fernandez. We can't go and spend 90 million on Caicedo. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Let them think it's a hijack. They're fools. They think that we want Caicedo for 90 million. You go and take him for 90 million. So it triggers Todd Bowley, Egg Bally and Blimmin' Clear Lake Capital, the company, to go and get Enzo Fernandez. And if anyone's not watched Enzo Fernandez, specifically watched him, go watch him. You know, like Musa, for example. Jen's been watching them Enzo comps again. I've watched enough of Enzo Fernandez before comps. I was talking about Enzo Fernandez coming to Chelsea before we was even linked to Enzo Fernandez. Go and look back at all my tweets. This is a guy, again, that I've wanted for a very long time. And I will be very pissed off if we go and spend 90 million on Caicedo when we can spend another 15 million and get him. Not that it eliminates it, but I do think getting him now makes it easier for us. We leave it to the summer. We're leaving ourselves open for competition. Benfica will want a bidding war. They don't give two craps about Chelsea. They will use the fact that Chelsea still want him and try and attract other top European clubs to try and get as much as they can out of this deal. I don't want that. I want it to be done like now. And even if we can't do it now, try and get an Nkunku type deal done with the player. Enzo Fernandez in a blue kit is beautiful for Chelsea, for us fans. We should be excited of having a profile like him coming to Chelsea because only him and Frankie de Jong possess that ability, in my opinion. We've got João Felix on the loan. We've got Mudryk. We've got Madueke. We've just now bought in Malo Gusto. How cool will it be to throw in Enzo Fernandez? How cool would it be to have that in midfield? Him. The ability to pick out passes, dictate games, control games, physical. He has a bit of everything, guys. But his most prized, possessed attribute is the way that he can. That is the way that he progresses the ball. He's the way he can spread the ball with both feet from left to right, and it hits his man every time. The way that he can just pick a ball over the top when players actually make runs behind. And we've got players that are going to make runs behind now, like Mudryk and Madueke, João Felix. You know, Havertz might get a bit of confidence, whoever. Now we're going to pick balls over the top. Let's actually run because the person that's got the ball can actually find us. We don't have that in Kovacic or Kante or Jorginho. They can't do that. Kovacic does try and do it, but he's just not to this level. This guy's level. And Todd Boehly, we need Enzo. I can't stress how much this of an opportunity it is to get this guy. We don't get him. I am telling you now, we are going to punch ourselves because he will go to a top club and he will become world class. At 21 years old, he's only going to get better, this guy, providing he keeps himself fit and injuries and he's blessed with not getting injuries and stuff. This guy is a game changer, guys. Enzo Fernandez. So Arsenal, do me a favour. Go and spend 90 million on Caicedo. Please, do it. And hopefully that will trigger Chelsea to go and get Enzo Fernandez. Now, everyone, smash the like buttons. Over nearly 600 people here. I did promise to open the lines up. I am going to open the lines. I want your thoughts on Moises Caicedo's crazy acts yesterday. Who is he going to go to? Will Todd Boehly test the waters for him? Or will Arsenal take him? I want to know your thoughts and opinions. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on Enzo Fernandez. Can we do it? Will we do it? I'll be honest, it feels like we probably won't. It's just frustrating. But don't go and get me Moises Caicedo for 90 million then. Just don't get a midfielder. Because 90 million is ridiculous. That tells me that you could have had either Enzo or Moises Caicedo and that you've actually prioritised him over Enzo. No. No, don't get me wrong. I think what's quite scary is Caicedo and Partey in the middle. I think that's a very good midfield from an Arsenal perspective. That will be a massive benefit to them. I don't know. I don't know. And the more I see these 90, like them cheeky bars are never going to spend 9 million for a player. That's what I wish they did. And that's the problem. I hope we don't gallop because we would. We would, I think. But don't go and do it. Do not go and spend 90 million on him. Don't do it. Not if you're not going to get Enzo Fernandez for 15 million more. That makes no sense to me. No fucking sense. And it will just really piss me off. The price is set to deter buyers. No one will. Yeah, they won't. But, if the 90 million is true, I don't know. I mean, Alex, how we doing? How you doing?
Probably the only one that wants Caicedo.
What, for 90 million?
Not for 90 million.
Now, that's my
Big
problem.
up.
I ain't got a problem with Caicedo, the player, but 90 million? It don't make no sense to me. I'll be honest with you.
I don't think anybody paying 90 million, so that's like the last thing we heard is 60. So if it's around 60, 70,
all right, fine.
I will be pissed off if Arsenal gets it.
That makes sense.
I think it will be big disappointment if we not sign it. Because I think it's actually harder to get Enzo than Caicedo.
100%. I agree with that.
Because if it's more, it's really hard to get Enzo. Benfica, plus it's not only about Benfica, it's about Enzo. Enzo is not as determined as Caicedo to leave the Benfica.
Enzo he was at the beginning.
No, he wasn't. He was never put in that kind of statement.
Well, no, he didn't, but his actions were clear. The guy didn't go and train for him. He was on his way, apparently going to go and fly to Argentina and whatever. We've supposedly pulled him aside and told him and Benfica that we're going to lay a bid, which we never did. We actually gave him a package of 90 million rather than giving him 120 million once we actually laid something down. So obviously we did get in his head, I think, in my opinion. And
I mean, he said that he wants between the back lines. Yes, he said that he wants to leave. Did you see him put any kinds of statements?
Not like that. No, it's different.
That's what I'm saying.
Different.
So,
this is different. Yeah.
Not this is different. There's a big difference.
It's different because what I mean, he's actually kind of put a transfer request in Caicedo. By doing that, that's kind of saying, I want to go.
Yeah, but Alex, the statement that Caicedo's put out doesn't mean that he wants to come to Chelsea. He just wants to leave.
Oh,
he just wants to leave.
Thank you. I didn't get it. What I'm saying is like it's about intention of the player and the club. So for me, Enzo will never does that. He will not disrespect that. Enzo, what Caicedo did is kind of disrespectful because he only been playing for 29 games to the club. To be doing that kind of thing, even to the fans, you can put like a transfer request behind the lines. You see what I'm saying? You can put transfer requests behind you don't have to put the statement like that. It's kind of disrespectful, but I still will take him because I think
he's probably misguided by his. He's got new agents as well, so he's probably been very 100%. Misguided.
100%. But for me, I think Caicedo is the area of the field that the most important for Chelsea than what Enzo position on the field.
Not for me. Not for me. But that's preference.
Of course, not anyway. For you. You're the same person that rates Barcelona players.
No, but I've given my reasons why I think Enzo fits Chelsea and why I think we need that. I've explained
because you think that because you think of him what I don't think of him.
Both positions are just as important.
Yeah, they are, but they are as important. I think that the true answer is we probably need both. We need both. We need
both.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, what do you prioritize more, that one or that one? That's the only thing we're saying. Do you know what I mean? Like,
because I think you can find the player like Enzo quality.
Nah. There's a lot.
Nah. It's the other way around. Way around, man.
With
De Jong,
it's a field of.
Yeah, I agree with that.
De Jong. Yeah, De Jong. But listen, Enzo wanted to come to Chelsea, right? Enzo gave us the green light. He accepted terms. He wanted to come to Chelsea. We just didn't want to pay what they were asking for. De Jong is completely different. De Jong, this is Barcelona's dream. Alex, let me finish.
To Chelsea because Chelsea is the only one that actually bid for interested in him. Nobody else.
But okay, but De Jong never gave the green light to United or to Chelsea. When we were in for him, when we wanted to go in for him, De Jong's a lot harder to get than Enzo. As much as I rate De Jong, I would probably rate them on the same level. De Jong would be a bigger problem to try to get out of Barcelona because he does not want to leave at all, and he's rumored to be on what 400k a week or something like that. So De Jong's an option, but he'll be if you think Enzo's difficult to get, De Jong will be even harder to get. That one there.
I just give an example of De Jong. There's more players like De Jong in the world than that. And
but what we're saying
not
is
enough players like Caicedo either.
Yeah, but what we're saying is it's easier to find a replacement for Caicedo than it is to find a player of the caliber of Enzo. Is what we're saying.
And
because you just mentioned an example of the example for Enzo is De Jong, and I'm saying De Jong is very difficult. For Caicedo in that position, I'm sure you can find someone a lot cheaper in that position. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
I got to think about that one. I'm not going to just put names out there. Yeah, Declan Rice, that's a good option to have. If Arsenal was to go in for Caicedo, we could potentially go in for him. You got Lavia.
Southampton's Lavia. You even got the Fulham player, Paulinho.
You got Paulinho. You got a few there already, and these guys aren't gonna be asking for 400k a week, asking for stupid money. Do you know what I mean?
So there's more. De Jong, I don't know many profiles of other than
exactly
in the bigger clubs. I don't see any player in like a mid club or like a Benfica or some sort of club that has that sort of profile. It's pretty much just Enzo.
Exactly.
I mean, we're not scouts, but it's down to the scouting team. But from what we can see, there's not many players like Enzo. There's a lot like Caicedo, although Caicedo is a top player.
Like I said yesterday, there's inflation.
Who's better than the other one. This is not the discussion right now. I think a Caicedo would be great in our team, in my opinion. I think he would work, but I just feel that with Enzo, and I've said it like you guys are just saying now, I don't think there's many. In my opinion, when you look at the ability of the player, I don't think there's many players in world football that can do what he does. And it's not that he just does that one thing. When I look at Enzo Fernandez, he could do a bit of everything, in my opinion, anyway. But what we actually need specifically, and how I think we want to move forward quickly and control games, and not to the point where it's like Jorginho, where we recycle balls and play sideward balls. This boy has the ability to pick the ball up with right or left foot. And if he sees a run of Reece James or Cucurella or Ben Chilwell, he will find them. And it will go there, he's got the ability to be able to pick out passes, not even from outside the box. When you see teams drop deep and play low blocks, he's the guy you give the ball to, and if you make a run, you just play it, bang, and it lands out to that play. Like that's the type of players that I want. Players that can unlock defenses, unlock midfields, allow the forward line to tick better. Yeah, he gives us that's the kind of player I want in our team. So. I've said it many times about him. I ain't going to stress on it. I know.
One thing I will say is that I do believe that we need more of an Enzo player than Caicedo, because we still forget the fact that we've still got Zakaria and Kante this season. We've got Jorginho and Kovacic, but like I say, they're not willing to take that risk to play that sort of pass. Like that does affect our attackers at the end of the day, because they don't get many opportunities to thrive off. Whereas with Zakaria and Kante, they are very good defensively, but it's just their injuries. But I believe because we have two of them, I believe getting an Enzo would be much better for now.
I just think it's harder to get Enzo, isn't it? Though that's the problem. It's hard to get Enzo, I think, in the summer than it is now. That's obviously on the basis that a City and a PSG, because I don't think there's going to be many clubs that can go for him, in my opinion. But I think we'll definitely be one
next season. The only teams to rival us for Caicedo would be Madrid and City. I don't see Liverpool with the money. I don't see Arsenal with that sort of money. PSG, you could say, but
Man United.
Liverpool. It depends. Liverpool, if they get new owners by then, they could be involved as well. We don't know what owners are going to bring in, but again, they could come in. Yeah, but I don't see him going to Newcastle. They're on the come up. I think he'll go to a team that's already been established as a top.
Yeah, but if they get Champions League, he might go there. Who fucking knows? You know what I mean?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, the guy's on 3K a week. They might offer him a bag over there.
He thinks that Newcastle is not going to be, because it's Newcastle. Chelsea is bigger than Newcastle.
No, that's what I said. If they continue to stay in the Champions League, they will.
Newcastle's an option, but what I'm saying is, if Newcastle and Chelsea come calling for you and he walks straight into our team, I'm sorry, he's picking Chelsea over Newcastle. Unless Newcastle offer him 100k more, 50k more. We're still Chelsea Football Club. We're a bigger club than Newcastle.
Yeah,
and we've won more than Newcastle.
You remember when Arsenal had that mentality? Oh, we're bigger than Chelsea. And we got all the players that they wanted.
Players do get
mentality. Childish, man.
The fact that Chelsea is a club in London, like when a player comes to moving to Newcastle or London, there's only one option that he's going to go to.
Yeah, the one that pays better.
Players will want to go to Newcastle, especially because of the sort of area, and especially because they're not going to be on top. They'll be top 4 probably, Champions League, but they've still not risen to that level where they're going to get the respect they deserve.
Exactly.
They actually
make it. Yeah, no one's. Like, I'm looking at the comments here. No one's trying to put down Newcastle, but what we're saying is they're still on the come up. They've got all this money now, but they are still on the come up, and there are clubs who've won more than them and are bigger than them who will be interested in Caicedo. So I'm not saying Newcastle have no chance of getting him. I just think that if Chelsea was serious about him and we was to go back in for him in the summer, strong possibility that he'll pick us over them. Let's not forget he's already worked well under Potter. He knows Potter. He knows Potter. He knows Potter already. So that's going to play a big part. Obviously, we might miss out on Champions League football, but all I'm saying is Newcastle, they're still on the come up. They're a big club, big history, but they are still on the come up. And there's going to be a number of big clubs that are after Caicedo. So for me, I don't think Newcastle will be one of his top
we've got a bit of an update. We've got a bit of an update in Caicedo. It says that Moises Caicedo's new agents are still active and doing everything they're in their power to get a January move, but there is a frustration because Brighton are not engaging on providing them or suitors with a specific number. Brighton have also told Arsenal directly the player isn't for sale. So they're just making it hard, aren't they?
I don't understand
why
Chelsea haven't made an approach the same way we have with Gusto, why we aren't trying to sort that sort of a deal out with Enzo, because both Lyon and Benfica want to keep Enzo for this season, but it's not a thing where they wouldn't want to sell. They just don't want to sell this season because Benfica are still in the round of 16 for the Champions League. So I believe if we could probably get the same deal we've done with Gusto with Enzo, I feel like that would be the best option, knowing that we will be getting him in at least next season rather than having to still wait on the fact that City might be coming in. So I think it's do or die for Chelsea with Enzo.
Let's go to Eric Blue. What are you saying, Eric Blue?
Big up, Jim. Long time no talk. Yeah, I think I agree with the guys. Enzo is the guy to go for between the two of them. He's just a little bit more difficult to find. I don't think there are many players like him. So I would definitely go for him, even though we definitely need a defensive midfielder long term. I'm hoping it's Zakaria. I don't know what's happening with that situation. Hopefully he can stay. And if we bring in Enzo and Zakaria stays, I think that would be very big. That would be huge. Big up Couch. Big up Declared. Yeah, look, I think for me, if we bring in Enzo, I mean, that was my focus for this window. You know, I know it's not easy for clubs to just target one part of the pitch and say, "Oh, we're going to just sign midfielders this window." It doesn't exactly work like that, you know, and you can't exactly choose the order in which the signings are made for the positions. But I do think that there's definitely a focus. There's no way that they aren't looking at the midfield. They definitely are, but it's just not been the best scenario so far. I don't think they're willing to pay the money for Caicedo, and I definitely don't think they're willing to do what Benfica wants, you know, because for me, in my opinion, even though you can argue it's worth the risk, I still think the money for Enzo is a bit too much. And I think they're just not willing to make that decision right now, which is a risk, like you mentioned. You know, if in the summer, you know, other clubs get involved, which they probably will, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I just don't. I feel like if the club were trying to pay that amount of money, I think he would have been announced already. But I just have a feeling that, I mean, they try to negotiate, they try to bring it down, but it's Benfica won't budge. They just won't take anything less than what they said, right? So it's just a difficult situation. I don't think we'll sign any midfielders this window. I'm just hoping that in the summer, we're just able to outbid the other competition. You know, because I just don't see it happening this summer. Maybe maybe deadline day, who knows? But I don't believe we're willing to spend that much on Enzo.
I think you're right. I think with the midfield, I think the most likely outcome will be that we don't sign anyone in the midfield. We don't panic. We don't just pay for it. We just wait to the summer where we've got more negotiating time with clubs and try and go at them, because it's harder in the January market. It is a short time, you know, to try and get things done. And obviously we have already done quite a lot of business already when you think about what we've brought in and etc. And obviously we got Malo Gusto yesterday as well, who will be joining us in the summer. So maybe it's a thing that we won't rush it. Maybe it's a thing of, right, we've done this, this, and this. Let's just save the main bit until summer and just throw our full focus on the midfield and try and get 2 in. That might be the case, you know. So I wouldn't be shocked if it was, to be honest. What I don't want them to do is to go and buy a third, fourth choice just for the sake of it. Oh yeah, we'll just bring him in. Yeah, you know, whatever. I don't want that. You know, I'd rather just stick with what we blooming have, and hopefully Zakari will be back soon. We know Kante will be back mid-Feb, beginning of March, and then it's all right. We've only got Jorginho and Kovacic, but it's been like that for a long time for us. It's what we're used to, isn't it? Unfortunately, at this point, but we'll have to just get through this season, I think, and then we'll look to kick on. And then you've got your Declan Rice's, Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo if he doesn't go Arsenal and waits to the summer. You know, then you've got more of a time to work on these deals, you know.
Jem, let me ask you a quick question. If he was to bring in Enzo now, and let's say he was to come in the summer, are you playing him in that 6 role and with Felix in front of him, or are you playing Felix on our front line, starting Felix on the right with Modric on the left?
I play him. I think whatever we do, it's going to be a pivot anyway. I don't think it will work. I don't think we will ever play just a one holding, in my opinion. I think it will be 4-2-3-1. And I think Enzo will be one of them too, in the middle.
So you'd play Felix in that 10 role, basically.
And I'd play, Felix essentially if he's in it. This is the thing, we don't even know if Felix is here. If he isn't here, then we've got Havertz, haven't we, or Mount. So it's, you know, if Felix is here in the summer and we spend that money on him, then he'll probably play in the 10. You'll play Mudryk on the left and whoever on the right, Sterling or whatever, and then you got Nkunku, didn't you? So
yeah, on Felix, I think we get him. If he has a good loan, I don't see Todd Bowley not paying for him. I think he'll push for that move as well.
4-2-3-1 will always sort of change in between games, and you see it that when we move forward, we sometimes go into a back 3, but when we're out of position, we go into a back 4. So it might be the case that we set up as a 4-2-3-1, but it's a system that sort of alternates. And that's why I think when you look at like Malo Gusto, for example, and the players like Nkunku's that we're bringing in, they're all quite versatile. They're able to adapt in game, and that's the most important thing. I think that's why we're looking at players that can do that rather than being stuck in one system. Because that's been partly one of the issues we've had. Players that just used to playing sort of one or two ways in systems, you know?
Yeah.
I'll see you later, Jem. See you guys.
Alex, take care, bro.
Yeah.
See you later on.
A bit, bro.
See you.
Yeah, man.
AJ is in the building. What we saying, AJ?
Sir.
What we going on, man? What's going on here? Caicedo done some madness last night. He put in what we looked like a transfer request, and now we're being told 90 million. And like, what's going on? What's your thought?
That 90 million is Brighton trying to fight player power. Twitter is something else, man. It gives you a lot of power, but I mean, first of all, that price tag is outrageous. We're not paying that. Secondly, I still don't know. I guess Caicedo is one of our top choices, but is the plan to get Caicedo and Enzo? Like, what's the plan? You know, is it either or?
I think it's either. I don't think they're both the plan. I think it's, and I know they're both different in their way that they play, but I think that I think if we get Caicedo, then if it's weird because if we get Caicedo and Enzo's still available, potentially you could see that we go for them two as our main targets. But if we get Enzo now, I don't specifically think we might just go for Caicedo in the summer. I think we will have more options. I think we might look at an out and out DM. You know, maybe a little bit cheaper than Caicedo if there is one out there, because I think that's why that you can.
That's why I preferred him. I preferred Enzo in the winter, and you know you could get a more defensive type midfielder. There's more options, you know, in the summer. Just in general, you know.
Enzo, what do you think? Is it going to be a summer one? Do you think we might just, you know, do something before that? Or do you think we're going to be patient on the midfield, leave the position and just go for 2 in the summer and just commit to it in that way?
If we can't get Enzo, which it doesn't look like we're going to get him just because of the structure, they're not trying to come up with 120 right on top. They want to spread it out. If we can't do that because Benfica wants the release clause, then, I mean, unless we could get like a Frankie de Jong or something like that, I think we just got to wait, see how the summer plays out, and then we might just have to move on from Enzo. But they need to identify like 2-3 more targets besides Enzo with that type of skill set. So
there's not many though.
There isn't, and that's the problem.
You know, you're getting like a graded player in his role. You know, it's just like, well, if you can't get him in the January market, do an Nkunku style deal and try and close the competition out of Benfica and say, look, we'll give you what you want. You can keep him. You can keep him till summer. We'll give you what you want, but you've got to agree to the instalment plan that we want to pay. And that gives us a bit more breathing. And if then he goes, yeah, I want to go in the summer as well, you know, because I've stuck here like you wanted me to. Maybe we can get around it that way. Maybe that's the plan for Chelsea with Enzo Fernandez. I don't know, but I just don't want to. I can't imagine us losing it. Get him going to a City or around.
Oh my lord! If he goes to the Premier League, that's problems.
I even forgot about City being an option because they're looking to let go of Gundogan and Bernardo, right?
Yeah, they're going to be spending
so they're definitely going to want to refresh that midfield. You know, Pep's looking for some young blood, so we do not want to get into beef with them.
He's perfect for them as well. The way that they play,
perfect.
He would absolutely rinse it, mate. He would rinse it. Complete. Haaland would love him. De Bruyne would have someone else that can create next to him as well, mate.
God.
I don't even want to think about it, to be honest.
No. That would be a disaster. That can never happen.
I think that is the biggest.
Can't let that happen.
That's the biggest disaster since Haaland went to Man City for me when we were going in for him as well. But anyway, we moved from that. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. What we're saying, Collins. If you're going to talk, Collins. Collins. Where are you, Collins?
Collins, you muted.
He's unmuted.
Oh,
Collins, mate.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Cat got his tongue.
Do you think there'd be
Cat got his tongue.
I like that. Cat got his tongue. That's a good one. Cat got his tongue.
Oh god.
So come on, what do we think? Are we done now? I did say I think we will do one more signing, and we got Malo Gusto. Are you happy about that signing? We've got to talk about that yet. Malo Gusto to Chelsea yesterday, 30 million euros, 26 million sterling. We don't know how much add-ons yet. Are you happy with the deal?
Yeah.
Right. Oh yes. 100.
Yeah.
It'd have been nice if he came now, but I mean, at least we got a quality.
But again, at least it cuts out the competition, AJ, you know, because
exactly.
So this is why I don't mind doing that. Can we not do that with Enzo? Benfica, look, we'll give you the money. You can keep him, but you've got to give it to us a bit cheaper, and you've got to do it the way we want it. But you can keep him for the rest of the window. At least we know we got him. I'd love it if we could do that. I really would love it if we could do that. Yeah, come on, guys, elaborate. Malo Gusto, what are you saying, Eric Blue?
Yeah, I think he's a promising player. He has some nice highlights. No, but I think he's a good player. He's young, but I remember when Reece James was young, and we didn't know for sure that he would make the step up, and he did. I'm not saying this guy is on his level, but if we can get someone who can push Reece James and can also be a starter when Reece James isn't available, I think that would be a very big help because, like you said earlier, you know, Chalobah can't do it, Aspi can't do it, you know, so we need someone with quality, man. So I think he has the dribbling, you know, ability to help us going forward. You know, I think he's a good passer. Defensively, maybe he can improve, but I think there's a lot of potential there when you consider his age as well, you know. So hopefully he's a successful signing. And I have a lot of hope in our strategy now compared to before. If you look at the kind of signings we made, under Tuchel and the signings we made after appointing, Vivel and Winstanley and all these other guys, I think there's a difference, to be honest. I'm not saying everybody we signed under Tuchel was bad in the summer, but I think there is more of a direction with what we're doing. So hopefully
100%.
it works out.
I put a tweet out yesterday. Look, I love Roman for everything he brought to the club, but under the old model, we would have definitely refused loaning him back. Would have gone for like a Dumfries or like a Pavard and just done that. So with this signing with Gusto, I think it's not just when Reece James is injured or is not fit. Like we actually need to use him and rotate using him. Because Reece James, I'm sure there's certain games that Gusto can come in. Teams like Bournemouth and teams like that. Do you know what I mean? So it will definitely help Reece in terms of his fitness because he's not gonna. It looks like he's a bit injury prone now. So he's definitely a good option to have, in and around the team, coming in. An important player, not a squad player, more of an important player, I would say. Because there's times where we might go to a back five, put Reece James to right centre back, let's say Fofana's not fit, and then he can step in there and come in. So yeah, no, I think it's a top signing, man. And again, potential wise, he's a good player. Seems to be what we're looking for at the moment in terms of the profile. So yeah, no, it's a good signing.
I think you're right in terms of the way that I've even seen rivals saying I'm starting to see a bit more Chelsea's plan, and that's weird. They say that about Chelsea, like you're starting to see the kind of route that we're trying to go down, and the fact that we're now signing players for the summer just goes to show that our mindset is set for the future and about improving what we have and sustaining it. The sustainability is the big thing, I think, with what we're trying to do now. As before under Roman, I think it was always about the now. Right? How do we win now? What do we do? And we've done it with so many managers, the amount of managers we switched over, and it worked to a degree. It made us the most successful club in England for the last 20 odd years. We've been lucky to be blessed to have seen our club lift every single trophy available in every competition. We've seen it all. We've seen it all through Roman, and we can't knock it. That was his way of doing things. But it was never. My question was always that it was never going to be sustainable. And when you look at the Premier League, in theory, we actually underachieved. In my opinion, I actually think we should have won a lot more Premier Leagues than we did, especially in that period. And that was partly to do with the board, the structure, the not backing the managers and giving them more ammunition going into next seasons and whatever. And a bit like what Fergie got when he won it 3 times in a row. They brought Tevez in and Berbatov in and whatever, and they went on to win it again. Like they always sort of just kept strengthening the teams. I think the idea now is to kind of build that all and then have that sustainability, and then equally I don't think we will spend like we have been in the first probably 2 seasons, but eventually it will be set, and then it will be about us winning, and then when we need to improve areas because of whatever, we will then do that, but it will be at a lot of a less level than it would be maybe with what we're doing now. I think is the aim. So they have an idea and a project of what they want to do. Let's just see if it works. That's the question, isn't it? We're sitting there waiting for seeing if the piece of the puzzles actually work.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, Collins.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I said I love what you guys are saying, but I am very happy the way things are happening in Chelsea. Just that I am not happy the way most of our fans are doing, as if maybe we find ourselves in a bad situation. Already we know where we are. So where we find ourselves is not like maybe we are going to relegation. Most of us know the reason we find ourselves in this. No team we lost 10 players or 11 players are still playing very well. No team. Even if, look at if Liverpool lost 2 players or Man City lost 3 players, they are not going to do anything. But Chelsea lost 10 players. People are still pretending as if maybe the team is still, all of them are still together. No, this is about 11 players to 12 players. So when you lost 12 players in your team, no matter whatever you try to do, it's not going to work, because even if you try to work something today in training, after the training, tomorrow somebody have an injury, you have to start afresh again. You have to start from the beginning again. So that is the problem we're having in Chelsea. And I thank God that most players are coming back. Now they are coming back. You are going to see a different Chelsea altogether. Because when you see Regis coming back, Chilwell coming back, Fofana coming back, even Kante coming back, this is a different Chelsea. So, but people are trying to make it as if maybe, and most Chelsea fans, rivals like to put narrative, and when they inject that narrative, you see Chelsea fans online, more especially online fans, they kind of start throwing shot at them, as in fighting between themselves. Look at Mans now. Everybody's fighting like as if Mans like a relegation player. This guy have been in Chelsea, have won best player twice. Best player. So sometimes you're not going to retain your form. Sometimes you have deep in your form. And when you have deep in your form, that is when fans now will back you. But when it comes to Mans, I don't know the kind of hatred the guy always receive from people. For me, whenever Mans is in form playing football, he play with his heart. The guy have played in Chelsea like 2 seasons. Chelsea best player 2 seasons. Mohamed Salah is not in form. Are you going to say Salah is not a good player? A lot of people, even De Bruyne, if you watch De Bruyne yesterday, he was not in good form. Are you going to say De Bruyne is not a good player? Sometimes you're not going to keep playing 100%. Last 2 seasons, we see Messi. We also saw Messi. Messi couldn't even play very well. He lost form. So everybody, there's a time in your life you will lose form. But when it comes to like Mount or any Chelsea player, people start, I don't know, I don't believe most of them maybe they just supporting Chelsea maybe recently because Chelsea won champion. They are not true. When you truly a fan, you support your club in times of, that means a lot of Chelsea fans will not support Arsenal. Most of them will not support Liverpool because Arsenal almost 18 years, 20 years now, none of them have ever tested the Premiership. That means if you're a Chelsea fans for 18 years, now we are in Premiership, you will not say I'm not supporting Chelsea again. Liverpool, it took them 30 years. Imagine this generation of fans now, 30 good years, you couldn't even win a trophy. They will say, I'm not no longer supporting Chelsea. Now we're having problem. And the problem we have, I'm happy that the kind of owner Chelsea have now, they try to ratify wherever they have problem. And they try to improve the squad, signing good players, because I believe next season, a lot of players are going to go. Aspilicueta is going to leave. Giorgio is going to leave. Probably Koulibaly will leave. Koulibaly, Aubameyang, all of them. So you have a new team coming together. But the way Chelsea fans always do online, sometimes when I'm on Twitter, I keep looking at people. And the people I feel like whenever they hear something about you, they feel like defending your club. They are the one instigating all this kind of, I don't know if they want to click, they want somebody to like their tweet, or somebody make a video of Mouse. You took your time to make a video where Mouse made a mistake. You have to stay in your room, make all the whole video, just to push it out in your own narrative. Why can't you go back in 2 seasons when Mans was playing fine? Can you be able to make that video? But you can't make that video. But you are busy to run fast and make a video to show that Mans is not playing very well. All of us know that he's not informed. He's not informed, even after, because he was informed before going to World Cup. So coming back from that World Cup, he kind of fell deep. So we know he's going to go. I trust that if there is one player I trust in Chelsea, I always trust Mans. He will come back strong. He will very strong. He has a very strong mentality. So for me, now is when we need all of us to support the team very well. We need everybody to support the team because now the team needs us.
Yeah, no, I agree, Collins. I think what you said there, you spoke a lot of sense, mate. To be fair, yeah, facts. Like, it's not a lot of people are saying this thing, so it's pretty good. So yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Adnan's turned up as well. What are you saying, Adnan?
Hello, how is everyone?
Not bad. How are you?
We are fine. So this guy who just talked about Mount, that's true. Every player has their downs and ups. I think Mount is having a bit of a shaky season, but that's all right. But for the case of Enzo and the Caicedo, whoever is trying to tell us that Caicedo wants to join Chelsea, he just wants to leave Brighton. That's all we know. Maybe Chelsea, the board this season, they have been so secretive. Maybe they can be doing something behind closed doors. We don't know. But for me, I would want to get Enzo at all costs, 100%. I even pray Arsenal to go and get Caicedo so that we be there without any problem, anything distracting us, to get Enzo and Rice. If Arsenal get Caicedo, they can never tell Rice that they are going to give him opportunity. So, which means Rice will choose Chelsea if that's the case, if we go and attempt. And I think Enzo is the icing on the cake. That guy, the ability he has to pick players, and not only ability, also the aggression, the need to win, just like Modric we saw in a few minutes. The need to play for Chelsea, the need to do something on the pitch. Even Enzo has that. Caicedo could be playing football, and you might think that he's hardworking, yes, but the ability and the courage that Enzo has, he wants more. He wants something. If you see and watch the games when he's playing for Benfica, not even for Argentina, but for Benfica, he gives it his all. And those are the kind of players we need. We know our coach is cold on the touchline, but we need players on the field that can, give a lot of.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. We'll have to see, mate. We'll have to see how it all pans out as well. Guys, is there anything else you want to quickly say? Because I'm going to bring in, I'm going to bring Pies on in a second. So I'm going to bring him in just individually quickly to have his say in that. And then I'm going to type. Is there any last things you want to say quickly before I bring him in?
Yeah, based on that, Enzo, like my brother just said here, the last speaker, he said very well, because most people think that the Chelsea board don't know what they are doing. Those people, they have plan. If anybody telling that Chelsea don't have plan, they just throwing money up and down. You are making a big mistake. Those people, for them to get to that billionaire they are, they know what they are doing. So if you think a billionaire don't know what he's doing, you are just making a mistake. It's just that because of rival, most of them think that, okay, because Abramovich is no longer there, Chelsea is going to go relegation. So they are surprised that these people are even more ambitious than the Roman Abramovich. So that is why they keep pushing that narrative. If you watch English media, they keep talking about the third body is just buying players just for sake. No, he's not buying. Those people knows what they are doing. And if you get somebody like Enzo, get somebody like him, for me, I don't want to rise. If Caicedo is something that is very good, because you are looking at the age they want to buy. That age is very important to them because they want a player that will stay in Chelsea for a long time. So for me, Enzo is the key point of anything. Like the guy they signed yesterday, that is another sign that everybody don't know. For me, that is the best signing for this one.
I think that my problem is, again, we want to address the midfield completely, and I just think getting one of these players is still not addressing the midfield completely. I know we have Zakaria, we have Kante, we still have some profiles, but we still need a creator, a deep line creator, and we need a bot, like a sitting midfielder, someone like a Matic type. And if we don't get Caicedo, which everybody wants, my preference is Rice. I'm still saying that Declan Rice fits the team well. I'm not saying he's the best player, but he fits what we need. And if you put Rice next to Enzo, then Enzo can do his thing even more. And Rice is just, he's probably he's in the top 5 central midfielders, defensive type midfielders in the league. So just bring him in.
I agree, bro. I agree, and I just think one of them places will be, both of them places may be sorted in the summer rather than them being in Jan. If we can get Enzo in the Jan, wow, that'd be a 10 out of 10 window for me. But
I think Potter will just need one more midfielder. I think it's either Enzo, Rice, or Caicedo. But if it's Enzo, then I think Potter knows how to transform players. He will get one of the academy guys, whether it's Hall, whether it is transforming Chukwemeka into a deep line playmaker. He did it with McAllister. McAllister was not playing the position he plays now. I think he was a 10, but now he made him to play in a more deep role. Potter can transform players, but you first have to give him the tools. At least give him one more player to put the other one aside. Now, like Badiashile came in, he knew Badiashile was not a world-class centre-back, but putting him alongside Thiago Silva means a lot. So bringing Enzo alongside Hall or Enzo alongside another youngster, Chukwemeka can transform them. So that's I think why we need just one more midfielder.
I hear you.
Jim, I'm not sure if you've seen. I saw Chelsea FC Daily. Just one last thing as well. David Ornstein on his podcast, he spoke about the newer contracts, about the reductions on the wages if we don't make the Champions League.
Get rid of a home goal.
Exactly. And this will keep the players hungry as well, because listen, if we don't make Champions League, my wages are going down. So again, that's another positive to take from the new ownership.
We'd be in profit if we sell a player in this January market. How mad is that after all the signings we've made? It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
I'm looking forward to the summer. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer.
Yeah.
Just very last comment. I'm looking forward to the summer because I'm looking forward to us cutting down the squad and really, kickstarting the new look Chelsea. 100%. I think when we get rid of players we don't need, then we'll start, moving up the table.
That's the next step, isn't it? After we've got the incomings in, there's going to be a lot of outgoings for me, and it's going to be interested to see who the outgoings are. We know who some of them are, but there might be more added to it as well. So let's see what happens with that. Right, guys, I'm going to quickly bring. Let's see what Piers has got to say. I'm going to bring him in, so I'm just going to drop you that quickly, I will shout. We'll talk in a bit. Probably do a show on Monday. We've got a show on Tuesday as well, and then we'll just open up the lines again and get everyone involved. All right. So big up, guys. Talk to you in a bit. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Sweet. Big up. Cool. All right. Cool. So giving Piers the link. Obviously, let's get Piers in. See what he's got to say on some of the stuff. It'd be interesting to see what his feelings are as well. In the meantime, guys, get the likes up, smash them likes. Still 500 people here as well. Let's see what Piers has got to say about Chelsea and Caicedo and his thoughts on Enzo, and we'll go from there. Let's see what he's got to say. In the meantime, what am I doing here? Let me just quickly add this in. There we go. Sorry, guys, this is the problem when you plan things. But man like Piers is in the building. What's happening?
What's up, bro? You good? Good to be
Yeah,
on.
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. It's crazy at the moment, isn't it? Really, Piers. things are happening. Things as the great Gerard Romero used to say. Things are happening. I think things are happening.
So.
We hope so. Yeah. So. I wanted to just obviously get your thoughts on obviously Malo Gusto, quickly talk about Caicedo, a bit about Enzo, get your thoughts and see what you think on obviously the deadline dates on Tuesday as well. So just getting your thoughts on the overall, if you think we're going to make some any more signings, etc. So let's quickly talk about Malo Gusto, mate. I mean, it was a deal where the Lyon president and manager kind of made it clear that he weren't for sale and they want him here and whatever. And then all of a sudden, Chelsea reached an agreement with them where he is loaned back to them and he's going to be joining us in the summer. So what's your thoughts on the player and what's your thoughts on the business as well?
I think he's a very good player, for sure. I mean, he's got a lot of talent. Yeah, I'll be interested to see next season sort of how much he plays, considering if obviously Reece stays fit. But I think it's great depth to have, and Reece could also be moved into like a midfield position maybe in certain games. So I think it gives Graham Potter a lot of tactical versatility, lots of options. Can be versatile with his team selections and kind of be unpredictable as well. So yeah, I think it's a good price as well, to be honest. I mean, what 26 million plus add-ons, which you'd probably imagine are performance based. So I think in this market for someone with so much talent, that's quite a good deal.
100%. I think when you look at the player profile as well, I think he's still very young. I think he has the ability to obviously grow. We've already spoke this in the group, but athletic, quick, and he's actually a good creator. Would you not agree? Like he can cross, something that without Reece James in the pitch, it seems like we seem to struggle with, but can actually create, as well. I'm looking forward to him. I think him. Obviously, we've got Nkunku now in the summer as well. It looks like our midfield area is going to be pushed again until the summer as well, which is obviously where we're going to move into quickly next. But let's deep this Moises Caicedo situation, players, because him getting new agents coming out, bringing out that comment, pretty much kind of handing in his own transfer request in his own way. And then we read today that Ornstein and Fab have said that he won't be playing until after the transfer window. He's been sort of put aside. And then it was like, guess who? Was it Chelsea? Is it Arsenal? Who is it? Because the way he worded it originally made it sound like as if someone's come and got him or something, the way it was worded. But what's your thoughts on this Caicedo saga?
So I think it's a difficult situation to analyse. What I do know, though, is that, Brighton are obviously very, very hard to negotiate with. And I think now, Saturday now, you've only really got the rest of the day and then, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday to complete deals. So, I mean, Tuesday's the deadline day. My personal feeling is that he'll stay, just because I think it's too late on in the window. I also think that Brighton won't be sort of like, they would be expecting that he was going to, obviously they knew he wanted to move before this. So I think because he's got new agents as well, it seems to me like the agents have kind of took the angle, telling him, kind of just ill-advising him a little bit, in my opinion. Like a lot of Brighton fans saying he's completely not this guy at all. Like he would never ever handed a transfer request without these new agents. So I think personally he stays just because of one, like everything I'm reading and hearing is that Brighton are just refusing to budge on anything. Like they've even told Arsenal like categorically he's not for sale. Whether that means that Chelsea and Arsenal just to choose to ignore that and test their resolve. I mean, you'd be lucky, I think, to get anything done right
even
now.
with that 90 million price tag that we were told by Delaney today.
Right, that's absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that's absurd, bro. It's absurd. Sorry, but yeah. No.
And it then relates on to the whole Enzo Fernandez thing, right? Because if we do, and I'm not saying we will, and I hope we don't, but if we do play ball and go and start negotiating with Brian for like, I don't know, 80 million or 85 million plus add-ons or something, will it annoy you a bit more with the whole Enzo Fernandez side and the fact that we could probably have got him for about 105 sterling, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think obviously the Enzo Fernandez stuff, there's a lot of talk around, what would Benfica actually be opening to. For me, I think we should explore some sort of pre-agreement like we had with Gusto. I'm not really too sure if we should get a midfielder, and if it's not Caicedo or Enzo, but at the same time I do kind of see the logic in maybe exploring a late move for someone, because if you really think about our team at the moment, with Jorginho's really the only six we've got, and some even debate whether he actually is a defensive midfielder anyway. So I think I think maybe Zakaria could help cover that track. But then I thought, well, if you look at what Graham Potter's been doing, Graham Potter's actually been playing Zakaria in the more further of the two, the more forward of the two, players in the pivot. So we kind of do need someone. And if you look at our targets, I mean, Onana is a 6, he's a DM. Enzo and Caicedo, they can both play there. So I think the profiling makes sense, but I'm just so unsure whether we'll do something, to be honest, because it's been really, really quiet for the last few days.
I think there's a good opportunity that we might just throw our midfield situation into a summer and go, right, we need 2 in that area. Let's get it done. There's obviously talks about Jorginho leaving, and it's looking more likely that will be the case as well. Obviously, Kante has got the extension. Kovacic, I'm assuming, is not going anywhere anyway. I'll ask you the question as well. We kind of know each other's feelings, but if you had the choice to sign one of the 2 in this January window, Caicedo or Enzo, who would you choose and why specifically?
Enzo, not even close to me. I think just the fact that his passing range from deep is just like, honestly, we need this. Honestly, like, was it 11 out of 13 long passes completed the other day for Benfica? Like, imagine him, Mudryk running onto his balls, Sterling. Like, this is what our attack needs. And also, he's also like ranks in the very high percentiles of everything else. Like, defensively as well, his numbers are pretty good. So, yeah, obviously you choose Caicedo if you want a more prem-proven option, but I think Enzo would just completely transform us. And I think his profile's more rare than Caicedo's, to be honest with you.
100%. This is what I was trying to say earlier on when we had the panel when I was saying that. I think when you look at the profile of the player, I kind of look at like a Frankie de Jong as being one of the closest to Enzo Fernandez. I don't think there is many other profiles out there. I think you could kind of, with Caicedo, I think you could kind of find others. That you have more options if you don't get Caicedo than you do when you have an Enzo Fernandez. He's not even world class. I mean, for me, he's top anyway, but 21, he's playing at Benfica. People going, yeah, but he's playing in the Portuguese league. It's not a very good league, Pies. Okay, how can we judge that? And then you see what he done at Argentina and the position that he played there. Because when you looked at the World Cup, he played in an 8 originally, and they dropped him into the literally the DM role, which again I don't think is his favourable position. But again, he showed that he can. He can control the game and he can be quite physical and whatever else. But he just, I think it will bring confidence to our forwards if we brought someone like Enzo in, because they'll start making runs knowing they're actually going to get the ball. When our midfield gets the ball, I don't think our forwards want to make runs. They just would rather go to the ball because they don't feel confident in the people in midfield to actually find them. And that doesn't help our forwards to actually be effective in any sort of way. But if you bring in Enzo Fernandez, it does. And you look at, obviously, the profile of Caicedo. I like Caicedo. I have no issues with Caicedo. I think he's a very good player. I just don't think he's 90 million. And I wouldn't even argue, is he even 70 for you? How much would you rate Caicedo in the market at the moment?
I was saying this yesterday to a few people. I think it's very hard to sort of judge. I mean, nowadays, someone is worth what the club says. Like, it's worth however much you pay. But for me, if I was going off, my own personal valuation, I'd think probably 60 million would be fair. I think that's fair. I mean, he's Premier League proven. He's young, which also adds a bit. He's 21. He's very, very good defensively, and he also plays box to box. He reminds me a lot of Kante, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's very similar to Kante, the way he plays.
100%. Do you think both of them are our specific targets, Pies? Like, we want both of them, or do you think it's either or with them, and then we look at someone else, like some people saying Latvia's and Declan Rice's and whatever? Or I know they're different in profile anyway, but do you think that they're 2 players that could play together?
Yeah, I think it's either or. I mean, Plan A was clearly Enzo from how we pursued him. Caicedo looks like Plan B, or a very sort of low Plan A, I would say, because obviously Graham Potter has worked with him, and I'm sure they'd be happy to get either. But from there, really, you've only really heard Anana. Obviously, we made a move for him. He looked like the Plan C or whatever. And anything else after that, I think they'll probably have higher up targets like your Declan Rice's, like Romeo Lavia's, but Rice and Lavia, they're not going to leave in January. So, especially not this late. Lavia, especially. Southampton are in a relegation fight, and he's one of their most important players. So, yeah, it's difficult.
Southampton don't like doing business with Chelsea, though. Someone was telling me the other day. I don't know why, but apparently they don't like doing business with Chelsea. We've done anything to piss them off before? I don't know. Couch says, what would prime Kante be worth in today's market?
Priceless.
Jesus. I don't know.
200 mil?
It's got to be a minimum 200 mil in this market. easily, like hands down. You know, the best in the world, in my opinion, when fit as well. JP, I know you're the only one that doubts Enzo. You do it every time in the chat, and that's your opinion. I get it. You go, oh, he played with Messi. Doesn't every player look good against Messi? But that's just such a lazy answer, bro. You've not watched him in the Champions League. Have you not watched him in the Portuguese league? He's playing for a Benfica team where you could argue there's a lot less talent there. I mean, they're not bad, don't get me wrong, but they're not at the level of Chelsea or even the Argentina blooming World Cup squad. I was like, I don't get why we do this. Like, he's good enough to play in a Chelsea team. Like, some people think, oh, you sign a player that's come from a Portuguese league in a lower league and playing for a lower team that they can't do it in the Premier League.
The Portuguese league has literally had so many hits for transfers to the Premier League as well. So, Bruno Fernandez, Ruben Diaz, Luis Diaz. There's loads that have come from the Portuguese league that have been good. Even someone like, I know Darwin Núñez misses a lot of chances, but he causes havoc for Liverpool. So even he could become good. Like, even the ones that you might think are flops at the moment. Yeah, just explaining that. Yeah,
should like Darwin Núñez as well. Look. The question here is, players, will Chelsea do anything to the midfield in the next 2-3 days? Don't put it past us because of the way we've moved this window, but I don't see it. I think we're going to concentrate on 2 in the summer, and I think that's fair enough. I think it's better for negotiations. I think it gives us more time to analyse the market. And even if Enzo's still the main target, you go into that. I do think with an Enzo, though, it makes it harder just because I think you may have a Man City. When you look at their disposal of their midfield, there'll be players leaving like Gundogan, obviously, etc. are going to be moving on. And then you look at someone like maybe a Real Madrid because Toni Kroos is leaving, and then you've got PSG, who are just there all the time, aren't they? So, there will only be teams that can afford them, and obviously we'll be in that bracket. But do you really want to be coming up against Man City for him and teams like, imagine if Man City get him? I don't even want to imagine that. It made me sick, to be honest. But we'll have to see what happens on transfer deadline day, Monday as well. We'll go from there. But Pies, when you look at what business Chelsea have done so far in this January window, how impressed are you with it? And what do you sort of rate it out of 10 as we speak now?
I mean, I'm very impressed. I have to say, I did not expect Mudryk or João Felix. I know Felix is alone, but I still think the impact that he's going to give us when he starts playing, again, is going to be crazy. I mean, we saw how good he was in that 60 minutes. He was just a different level to our entire team. So, yeah, I think those two are fantastic signings. And, I wouldn't rule out Chelsea doing like another loan or something next season for Felix, but this time with an obligation perhaps or an option. So I think those two are very good. I think Badiashile has been very, very good. I am a little bit cautious because I remember Koulibaly's first few games, everyone was saying he was the best defender in the world. So I'll give Badiashile a little bit more time, but he looks solid. And I think it looks like a decent price at the moment. The fact that he was another one we spread over the contract length of so long really helps as well. Gusto on back out on loan, I think I'm undecided. I think it's circumstantial. I think if Reece James does stay fit for an extended period of time, then I think everyone will be happy. But if not, then I guess some people will complain. But I've read some of the reports, and on Gusto, it seems like they didn't want to lose out on him in the summer, which you'd ideally think, well, now do that for Enzo if you don't want to miss out on him in the summer or risk losing out on him. But yeah, I think it's been a good window. Obviously, we bought in a couple others as well. But I still want something in midfield. It's looking so unlikely, to be honest. Yeah,
you'd say
but
that. Go on.
I'd probably give it. I'd give it a 9 so far.
Wow.
If we get a midfielder, I'd say it's the perfect window. A big midfielder as well, not someone like on loan or whatever, like a Caicedo or a pre-agreement friend.
Like your priority basically. Midfielder, yeah. I'd go with 7.5. I thought we would sort the midfield out, at least one of them in this market. And when you think about the fact that contracts are going to be potentially capped by FFP in the summer to 5 years, when you think about the opportunity of being able to maybe make that one big signing in like an Enzo and spreading it, if we can do, and paying Benfica a large sum, which I think again we should do really up front. I just thought we might have just done it, whether it's a Caicedo or whatever, but I don't see Caicedo happening for the value that Brighton want him. Enzo seems to be the same problem. We're just not entertaining it. So I agree. I don't want players that are not priorities, which means we'll probably go to the summer neglecting our midfield again, probably the most important position, I think, or area other than right back in the team that we've been having to, we should have actually sorted. So I think a 7.5 for me. I'm looking forward to seeing more of João Felix. I'm not his biggest fan, as you already know, but I want to see how he gets on. And a lot of people were talking past summer with him, saying that Chelsea probably go for him. And if he wants Chelsea, obviously Atletico will negotiate. I don't think he'll be cheap. Again, you're looking at midfield and you want to get 2 midfielders, and then you've got João Felix is going to be what, market value 70 mil easily, probably.
Yeah, but I think, as you said, or as I said, I think we could see something next summer where we kind of extend his loan, but this time we actually maybe have to pay for summer 2024, which wouldn't then allow us to do more business if we got him back on loan.
Yeah, that's an option. If we go for a loan and then somehow put a clause in it to buy him at some point, then do that. That would make a lot of sense. Yes, this is the one and only Pies in the building. Yeah, so I'm interested to see him. I'm very excited for Mudryk. I am, because it's still early doors, and it was only a bit of a cameo, but what he did at Liverpool was quite impressive. And I think, again, he will bring a creative spark that we've missed, but in the forward line. We need that as well. We need that dribbler. We need that frightening pace. It's mad that he locked in the quickest speed in the Premier League, and he hadn't kicked ball since November. Do you know what I mean? So it goes to show when he is fit how much of a problem he's going to be. I'm not sure of Madueke Pies. Do you know that? Like, I haven't seen enough of him, but what worries me slightly, again, a bit like Wesley Fofana, is that injury record. Apparently, he's only played in a row 4 games, I think it is. I read some stat or something. Other than that, he's always had like niggly injuries. I don't know. It worries me a little bit coming into a team that plays 2-3 games of blimmin every 10 days. But he's a talent. I've seen him. He's good. And again, another dribbler down the wing. Do you think he will be one that starts, Madueke, or do you think he's one that will just be backup for now?
I think he's got a good chance of starting against Fulham, to be fair, with all the training he's having. I think obviously Sterling's not back yet. I think Sterling will probably start when he gets back, but I think with Madueke you have a different option. He's a left-footed player, and he's also quick, and he could dribble really well, unlike Ziyech. So I always said Ziyech would be like one of the best wingers in the world if he had a lot of pace and he could dribble, but he doesn't. So and some people are like, well, some people think there's not that much of a difference, but honestly, in the Premier League, as a winger, like, you've got to have decent pace and be able to dribble. It's the 2 most important things. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. I've seen him a bit. He's an exciting player, but as I've said, and you've just said there, his injuries do definitely worry me a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll have to wait and see, and how we monitor. I mean, our medical team ain't the greatest, as we know already, so we'll have to wait and see how we move forward with him as well. Let's not forget about Datro Fofana as well. We signed that guy. You remember? He's not played much football for Chelsea, but he's there. Kai says Mount should be sold. Tell Pies to admit it. We need a proper rebuild. I don't think Mount should be the first player out the door in that forward line. I think there's a couple before him, even though I don't think he's in the greatest of forms. So, thoughts on Mount's contract, Pies, quickly? Obviously, again, we're reading Liverpool, supposedly Liverpool are quite interested with this. Chelsea still haven't negotiated a contract with deal with him yet. I mean, do you expect that to happen soon, or do you think it's a bit more than that?
I mean, my gut feeling is that he'll extend. I can't see Mount not playing for Chelsea. I think that'd be pretty mad. But same as what I've really said about Reece James, I just can't really see these. I know we've had Cobham guys leave in the past, but Mount and Reece have kind of been the face of pretty much our team over the last few years. But he's been playing shit, to be honest. So he needs to fix up. And I mean, we don't know what's going on behind the doors, behind closed doors, in terms of what his demands are. But I think I tweeted that yesterday. I was listening to David Ornstein. He went on the BBC podcast a few days ago, and he actually said that for certain new contracts, Bowley has basically, like, if we don't qualify for the Champions League this season and for future seasons, they actually go down. so you earn less per week for that season that you'd be in the Europa League. So very, very interesting that players are accepting of that, and maybe that's I don't know whether that's a reason why Mount is reluctant to accept now, because if he accepts now, then next season he'd be on lower wages if it comes into effect straight away. So, but anyway, I mean, it shouldn't be about the money for Mount. Mount should just everyone puts across that he's proper Chelsea and all this and all that, and he's just I mean, what can you say really? He needs to fix up though. He's been absolutely awful, man. He's been so bad.
Equally, would we say he's been very good the 2 seasons that he has been here? I mean, yeah.
I think I think the first season he was very good. Last season he got more goals and he had a really, really good GA return. But in terms of his performances, I still thought the first season under Lampard was better. He scored a lot against obviously the lower teams last season, which is fine. But again, I think he definitely he's not been the player he once was. I was watching some clips of Mount under Lampard the other day, and he looked more agile. He looked slimmer.
Sharp.
He looked like he looked more sharp, looked faster, got away from players much easier. I don't know whether he's put some people said he's put a lot of muscle on, and that's made him less agile. But I mean, it's definitely some issues. And I think if you look at next season, if we continue to play the 4-2-3-1, don't really know where he starts. Because if we keep Felix, then obviously Felix is going to start in the 10. And Kunku would play up front probably with, he probably would be leading the line. And
Kunku's leading the line, and people keep thinking he's playing he ain't coming here to play as a winger or a 10. I'm telling you,
you then have Mudryk and either Sterling or Madueke on the right. So I don't know where Mount starts, to be honest.
I think Mount will probably fill into that 10 role as well, or be played in that 10 role in some games. And it goes back to if João Felix comes or not. If he don't, then you've got Havertz and Mount fighting for one position just behind, So
we have to, that can't run for me. Need to make sure our attack stays as good as it is right now. I can't wait.
I would like also to see them in with a better attack. In my opinion, I would like, because I don't think we have any chemistry whatsoever.
Maybe Havertz, but Mount I have no hope for. He just.
Oh, you have more hope for Havertz than you do Mount. Jesus, I didn't know that. Okay.
Only slightly more, but Mount just ruins every attack. So
we'll take it. I think Havertz in a 10 behind Nkunku, Mudryk, and Madueke would be interesting. If that ever happens, I'd really like to see that. In my opinion, it's the position that I feel he needs to play. I know people don't agree with it, but I keep saying it. I think if you're going to get the best out of him, that's what you play him, in my opinion. All right, cool. Other than that, it's we wait until the transfer deadline day. It's going to be interesting to see if we do become any more active. Don't put it past us not to. I forgot about Badashile. I think Badashile's been very good. I've got to say, I wouldn't know what to expect from him because I haven't watched enough of him. But from what I've seen of him so far next to Thiago Silva, he's impressed me as well, to be fair. So Badashile, Thiago Silva, it's going to be interesting to see how we get on to the next part of the season, Pies, because we're actually going to have a stronger squad. Obviously, people returning, players that have been added to this squad as well. Potter should be gaining more points on the board. Do you feel that Champions League can happen if we can put on a bit of a run going up there? We're 10 points away at the moment from Newcastle and Man United. We're on the same points. Do you think if we can put some sort of form together, we could do a last charge?
Yeah, I mean, if it happens quickly, then yeah, for sure. I mean, if you beat Fulham, you beat who have we got after that? We got, is it West Ham?
Fulham, West Ham, and then Dortmund, and then I think Southampton. I think it is, and then
win those 3 league games. Providing Newcastle obviously don't win all their 3, I feel like we've got a chance. Yeah, and the biggest thing for me obviously is keeping Reece James fit. Is just when Graham Potter hasn't lost when Reece James has started. I think it's like 6 games or something. So he's huge for our team, man.
He's so good against Bournemouth when he come back. That game when he played in the back, we done a back 4-4-2-3-1, and we actually just looked so much more balanced, didn't we? With him
and then you saw when he came off and it went all dull again. It was really bad after he came off. It was boring.
Isn't it how bad? It's that bad that we rely on a right back to balance our team. That's how bad the squad is at the moment. It's so bad. Mohammed Welly with a donation. Big up to you, bro. He says, our window so far is a 6 out of 10 for me. The midfield has been most critical, and it is addressed. We need 2 or more midfielders. Enzo for 120 million or 90 million for Moises Caicedo. I already said who I'd pick. Enzo. Pies has already said that he would pick Enzo. I don't know is the answer to that, if it will be done. We'll have to wait and see. I've got a feeling that we're going to leave the midfield and probably just be happy with what we've done up to this point and just stick with the midfield we've got. It depends on Zakaria. Do we know how long he's out, Pies? Has that even been confirmed yet? Like, how long is Zakaria out for?
It was said to be about a month, but that was a couple of weeks ago now, I think. So, yeah, shouldn't be up for too long.
So he might miss the Fulham game, but it could potentially be back for West Ham and Dortmund, obviously, which would be
or maybe after that. Yeah.
Thank you for the donation, Mohammed. As always, big up to you as well. I can see the chat. There's still over 500 people in here. Big up to every single one of you guys that are still tuned in. Smash them likes. Let's get these likes up. Subscribe to both the Chelsea Fan TV and GNA TV. Pies, let them know where they can find you as well with your podcast and stuff as well that's been going on. And yeah, we'll tie it up.
Yeah, on Twitter, CFC365 official. We've recently released a Malo Gusto article, some analysis from one of our writers. So if you want to go check that out, that'll be my main plug, and then just my Twitter app.
Your Twitter account's moving nicely as well. I can see you on your road to 300k, mate. So well done on that as well. Yeah, guys, smash the likes, subscribe. I'll be back again. I don't usually do weekend shows, but I thought after what happened yesterday with Gusto and Caicedo, we'll build us up nicely for Monday to see if anything happens from Monday onwards as we close down to transfer deadline day. You might see Pius on Tuesday with me. We done the last transfer deadline show live, and Fabrizio Romano was live when he announced Zakaria, and we got it up to come up live on the screen. Do you remember that, Pius? What a show that was!
Yeah, we made something happen.
We did.
Fabrizio, I just remember we was just talking, and then Fabrizio he sent me a message saying, "Look, I got some Chelsea news coming," and then everything just blew up. It was great.
I put his Twitch up on the screen, and then we was just watching him announce Zakaria to Chelsea.
I think he's doing YouTube this year. I think it's YouTube on Wednesday. Yeah,
is it on YouTube? Yeah, so maybe we'll try and tie in around when he's doing his shows as well, and catch out of it as well. But yeah, if you're free players, then you're more than welcome to join me, mate, on that deadline show. It'll be a good one again. I'm pretty sure it will be. But guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Have a good weekend. Up the Chelsea, and we will be back again very soon. Take care, guys. See you later.